And I have, Callie Rader, Director, Graduate Initiative, the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and Anka Castillo, Associate Director, Fulton School of Engineering. They'll be conducting the session today. And I would request all of you to please put your questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen instead of the chat session, chat section. And we'll take up all your questions post the, you know, a session. Please feel free to ask a question. And floor is all yours, Kyle and Anka. Thank you. And we have Chester who will be taking care of the questions at the background. Thank you, Chester, for joining us.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. It's currently 7:45 p.m. over here, so been a long day already, so I'm glad everybody could join us if it's early for you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and jump right into the presentation. Since we only have a half an hour, I want to make sure we kind of run through the presentations to get all that information out there. And as you'll see, STEM degrees is a big topic, so 30 minutes is pretty tight, so we're going to try to hit everything as fast as we can on it. My name is Kyle Rader. I'm the Director for Graduate Initiatives here in the College of Arts and Sciences. I put my email address here in case you would like to send me an email, either following the presentation if you have questions. I'm more than happy to answer those or direct them to the people that can. So before we start going right into STEM, I want to talk a little bit about ASU real quick. In case this is your first interaction with ASU at large, I wanted to put up our charter. It's one of the driving forces behind everything we do as staff, faculty, our president. All of the initiatives that we put out are built around this charter, and you have it there. And I think one of the biggest things that we all kind of rally around is this idea of measured not by whom we exclude, but whom we include, and that kind of drives everything. So it's important information I wanted to have up there if you hadn't seen it before. I also wanted to give kind of a breakdown of ASU. ASU is a large university. It has 16 colleges and schools, and I've listed them out here. And each one of these colleges and schools typically has different departments or units within them to break it down to kind of make it a little bit easier to navigate. But I did want to kind of emphasize that this is how some of the organization for ASU. And like I said, I'm from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, which is one of the colleges listed here. Anka, who's also going to be talking to you later today, is from the Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering. So I wanted to show a couple quick numbers that kind of are relevant to this area, relevant to graduate education, and relevant to STEM fields. So ASU has more than 450 graduate degrees, programs, and certificates. So there's a lot of options. That's across the whole width of disciplines and topics, so that's not just STEM, but just in general, 450 degrees. $640 million was our fiscal year 19 research expenditures, and so that's makes us one of the fastest growing research enterprises within the U.S. And that's important from a graduate standpoint because a lot of graduate students are doing research working with faculty. So I wanted to point that out. That number also makes us number 7 in research expenditures among U.S. universities without a medical school, which is something that we like to make sure students are known, and it shows the academic rigor and research that our faculty and students are doing. Kind of important, I think, for this presentation is this number 6 rating of the top U.S. institutions hosting international students. So this is from the International Education Exchange Open Doors Report. And so for 2019-2020, ASU had more than 13,000 international students attending. So just some quick numbers so you know a little bit more about ASU. And now I'm going to jump right into STEM at ASU. So STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that's a very broad, covers a lot of degrees. So ASU has over 150 STEM graduate degrees that are across the 10 of our academic colleges. So I showed you a list of 16. Some of those don't have STEM degrees. Some of them are focused on undergrad, like our Barrett Honors College, and university colleges are undergrad. So 10 of our colleges offer STEM degrees. And so I put up here my college, the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as the Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering for 2 reasons. One, because the speakers you have today are from those schools, and also those are the schools and programs that offer the most STEM degrees. So I'm going to go into that a little bit more later, but I wanted to put those out. There are 8 other colleges, and those are, so just to name a few: College of Global Futures, College of Health Solutions, College of Integrated Sciences and Arts, the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts, Mary Lee Fulton Teachers College, our W.P. Carey School of Business, and the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. So all those colleges I listed, they do offer STEM degrees as well. But for our presentation, I'm going to focus on the College of Arts and Sciences, and Anka is going to focus on Ira and Fulton Schools of Engineering. So since we're all connecting virtually, and I think you probably have other screens going on, I wanted to put up real quick the ASU degree search and how to get there, because there's a really nice feature for STEM and graduate programs. And like I said, there's over 150 degrees, so I'm not going to be able to talk about those today. So I want to give you some tools so that while we're in this presentation, or while you're going through this later, you can go in and actually look at all the STEM degrees that ASU has to offer. So you're first going to go to asu.edu. You're going to click on this academics that'll show up at the top. When that opens up, you'll see degree programs. And from there, you'll click on graduate degrees. And then you're going to see a number of tiles of different interest areas. And in the bottom right of those tiles, you'll see one that's STEM specific. So I'm going to pull up what that looks like. So you're going to have, it's going to show you academic programs, graduate degrees, STEM. And then it's going to list the programs. I'm going to go over that just one more time because it went kind of fast. So asu.edu, www.asu.edu, academics at the top. You'll see it on this banner up at the top of the screen. You'll click, once you click academics, you'll see this academics, and then it'll have these different options. You'll click degree programs, and then this will be the window that you see, and you'll click on graduate degrees. And when you see, once you click on graduate degrees, you'll have a number of tiles that are kind of 3 across, and then they go up and down. In the very bottom right corner, you'll see this STEM one. And why I want to point this out is this lists all of the STEM degrees, and in this case, STEM is referring to programs that have the OPT approval. So they have the CIP codes that do qualify for the optional practice training extension for STEM students. So that's unique to the graduate degrees. They knew a lot of students were looking at this, and a lot of them are interested in OPT, so they created this little interest area group specific to STEM. So you can see from here, it scrolls down through the 159 degrees that are on this page, and you can request info, apply now. And so I wanted to pull that because you can start looking at them. You can request info, you can apply. And for the graduate degrees, when I go to this next slide, I'll pull it up. Like I said, for the graduate programs that are in that list, any degrees showing in this STEM interest group are approved CIP codes that qualify for the STEM OPT. And I know that's very important when a lot of students are looking. That's one of the questions we get all the time is, is this an OPT qualified, does this program qualify for the STEM OPT? And so I want to make sure that's right out there now, because you can start looking at some of those. You don't have to ask that question a little bit. And again, as I pointed out, this is only for the graduate programs in that STEM designation. The undergrad programs, they don't have that qualifier. So if a unit identifies this as a STEM degree, they can put it in there, and it may not qualify for the OPT. But for graduate, everyone listed on that in that area qualifies for the STEM OPT. So that was kind of in general how to find different degrees. Let me go back. That was in general how to find different degrees throughout the university that are STEM qualified. I'm going to talk now directly about the College of Arts and Sciences degrees. As I said, this is my area. We have all of these academic units within our college. So we're divided into 3 divisions: the humanities, the natural sciences, and social sciences. And so as you might think, we're talking STEM, science, that's going to be in the natural sciences. And yes, the majority of them are in the natural sciences, but we also have some degrees in the social sciences that qualify for STEM. So some of these fall under the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning, as well as the School of Human Evolution and Social Change. So in a minute here, I'm going to go through some of these programs and go over the programs that we see a high interest from international students, as well as those that qualify for STEM. But I did want to give a breakdown that the College of Arts and Sciences has 3 divisions. We're not just the sciences. I think if you're attending this presentation, you're interested in STEM, so you're maybe not as interested in humanities, but in case you have friends or family that are also interested or talking about it, the College of Arts and Sciences has these 3 divisions. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, break down each of our schools within the natural sciences as well as a few of the social sciences. So the School of Earth and Space Exploration, These house the astrophysics PhD, the astrophysics and astronomy master's degree, the geological sciences MS and PhD. So these are our popular degrees from the School of Earth and Space Exploration that also qualify for the STEM OPT. And like I said, we do see a lot of interest from international students in that. These are the top programs from international students looking at schools, looking at programs in CC. This is what they're looking at. So next I'm going to go to the School of Life Sciences. School of Life Sciences is one of our largest units. Basically, it brought through all these different areas of animal behavior biology, environmental life sciences, evolutionary microbiology, molecular and cellular biology, neuroscience. They were all different departments before, and then they were all encompassed under the School of Life Sciences. So again, these are popular degrees, both in general and also for international students, and these all qualify for the STEM OPT. And then I'll go ahead and do that. So School of Mathematical and Statistical Sciences. This has our Actuarial Sciences master's degree. This is a relatively new degree and a very popular degree. This is what leads you to be actuaries or prepares you for the actuarial exams that you'll take in preparation to be an actuary. We have the Applied Mathematics PhD, the Mathematics MA and PhD, and then the Statistics MS and PhD. Again, all of these degrees are STEM OPT. School of Molecular Sciences. This has the Biochemistry MS and PhD, the Chemistry MS and PhD. I wanted to point out that these master's options were just recently opened back up to accept applications. We received a lot of interest in these master's degrees, but they weren't accepting applications in the past. So they recently just started reopening that. So I wanted to make sure that information was known to others in case you were interested in, at first glance, didn't see that the MS was accepting applications. It is now both the biochemistry and chemistry. So you can hit that apply now button or request info on that. And again, these degrees are STEM OPT degrees. Department of Physics PhD is here. Again, this is where the STEM OPT qualifies for STEM OPT. And then as I mentioned, there's a couple of the social sciences. So this is the first one in the social sciences. This is the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning. They have the Geographical Information Systems. And so this degree here, that first one that you see there, it qualifies for the STEM OPT, but the other degrees do not. The Geography, MA and PhD, Urban Environmental Planning, MUP, and Urban Planning. I included them though because we do still see a lot of international students that are interested in these degrees. I think especially the MUEP, Urban and Environmental Planning, there's a lot of international interest. So we do see, I want to say their programs are close to 50 to 60% international students that are coming in, learning that information, and going back to home countries. So that is an important one I wanted to point out. And again, that doesn't necessarily fit the mold because you see STEM and you see our natural sciences, and I wanted to point out that some of our other programs and other units have what might be STEM degrees. They may not qualify for STEM OPT, but there are other degrees out there. That list that I provided you gets to the degree search. That's specifically the STEM degrees that qualify for the OPT, but that doesn't mean that's the only degrees either these units offer or the only degrees that the university offers that are in the science area. Those are just the ones that match up with the STEM OPT. And I was asked, this qualifies for the majors and degrees passport sticker. So if you are attending multiple events and you need to show that you attended one of the majors and degrees, this presentation does qualify for that. And again, I wanted to put up my information since we had to go kind of quick. We only have a half an hour. So here's my information. That's my email address. Send me any questions. If I can't answer them directly, I will send them off to our academic units. We'll get in contact with you to answer those questions. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now. And I don't know, we might have a minute or two. Are there any questions, Chester, that? One of the questions was where to check all the STEM degrees. So if you go to asu.edu and then you click on academics at the top, and then you'll see degrees there. And you click on that, it'll pull up a screen, you'll click graduate degrees. And then it will give you a bunch of tiles that have the different interest areas. You'll see one like sustainability, social and behavioral sciences, and then there's one called STEM. And that's where you can find all the ASU STEM degrees at the graduate level. Okay, I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Anka.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Hi, everyone. My name is Anka Castillo. As mentioned, I am the Associate Director for Graduate Recruitment within the Fulton Schools of Engineering. I don't have a whole lot of slides, so I'm going to make this quick, short, and simple so we can get to questions. But we are the largest engineering school in the U.S. We feature 44 plus different graduate programs at the graduate level, and every single one of our graduate programs is STEM because it is engineering, and STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And so every single one of our 44 plus different graduate programs is a STEM program, which means that students are able to apply for and receive that STEM extension, OPT, after they have graduated. And so what is unique about us with our makeup is that we have divided our 44 different programs into 6 different schools. And it's done so strategically to promote interdisciplinary work among our students. We've coupled programs that are similar in their application in industry and in research into the different schools that we have. And so depending on which program that you're interested, it lives in a specific school. We do have 2 multidisciplinary graduate programs that live in multiple schools. One is our computer engineering program that has 2 different concentrations in 2 different schools. And then one of our newest ones is our robotics and autonomous system program that has 4 different concentrations living in 4 different schools. So it's very exciting, and students have a hard choice to make in which program to pursue when you have so many options. But that's one of the best things about grad school, is that you get to really specialize in an area and become an expert within that area. So it's important that you understand what it is you want to do and pursue that at that more specific level. So we always bring up this slide when we talk to new students to kind of help them understand why Arizona is such a great place to pursue a graduate career, particularly with the idea of STEM in mind. So Phoenix actually ranked 9th in the nation for one of the best metro areas for STEM job growth. So it's among the top 10 for STEM job growth. And that is because we are very well known as the Silicon Desert. A lot of tech companies are coming over to Arizona to set up shop because of the cost of living, because of its relation to California and the West Coast. So a lot of companies are starting businesses in Arizona, and such jobs are becoming more and more available in the tech and STEM fields. And so there is a huge boom for economic growth. It's one of the top 9 for best cities to start a business, and a lot of those businesses are tech businesses. It's ranked 3rd in the best for economic momentum. Again, all those tech companies and all those STEM jobs growing in Arizona are really helping with that. And it's one of the largest cities in the U.S., and so the population really helps as well. So it's really a best time if you're looking at STEM jobs to be in Arizona and to consider ASU and a STEM degree at ASU to then propel you forward within your STEM graduate career goals. Some quick outcomes as far as jobs for our students. So average starting salary in engineering is close to $90,000, that $88,000. Average in tech is around the 80. About 89% of our students who are looking for work after they've graduated find work within 6 months of graduation, which is really exciting. We have a very strong population of international students within our graduate programs across the board. So it's very exciting to know that they're having great success finding jobs. Some of the top employers that you see on there This is a very short list of a very long list of the top employers, common job titles. And it's also really interesting to see where students are going. So we see 1/3 of them are staying in Arizona, 1/3 are going to California. Because again, Arizona is that Silicon Desert, California is the Silicon Valley, so a lot of tech and STEM jobs between the two. And then 1/3 of them are kind of spread across the U.S., with about 1% of them actually going internationally within that first 3 years. So again, these STEM students are finding jobs throughout the U.S. They're staying here for those 3 years post-graduation, finding really fantastic jobs, great starting pay, and happy with where they are, which is really fantastic to hear feedback from our students. I do want to bring up a brand new partnership that was just launched about 2 weeks ago now. So our students within engineering across all of our programs, master's and PhD, will be able to have access to the Infosys Wingspan platform. And so the Wingspan platform is a next gen learning solution. It features about 2,000 plus different courses that students can take, 400 plus different playgrounds, which is a set of courses, learning pathways, which is a set of courses with a specific objective in mind. A lot of different certifications, Infosys certifications, and playgrounds where students can practice various skills and master certain concepts that they've learned. And so for our students, they'll be able to purchase a license to the platform, and that license is good for 2 years. And particularly for students that are starting this spring, master's on-campus students that are starting this spring in one of our 4 high-demand computing degrees, and that's either computer science, software engineering, computer engineering, and information technology. Those students will be eligible to receive a scholarship license to the platforms. They would not have to pay for purchase of the license. They would be able to get a scholarship with a license for 1 year to the platform. And this really looks to enhance students' employability. It looks to allow them to get skills and practice and certification in areas that are of particular interest to the industry. And these are both technical skills and concepts, but also soft skills as well, looking at how to be a leader, how to manage teams, how to develop emotional intelligence, design thinking, strategic planning, all those things that employers are looking for from well-rounded engineers. So I'm really excited to be able to share this opportunity with our students as a way to further enhance their education and further enhance their employability post-graduation. So if this is something that you're interested and want to learn more on, we do have a web page that we have created that talks more about the partnership, that has some really great demonstration videos, and we will be doing some specific webinars on the partnership with demonstrations to students who are interested. So definitely go to our web page to learn more about it. And that is it for my slides on STEM. It's pretty straightforward with engineering. We're all STEM all the time. So I just want to see if you guys have any questions. If you don't have questions or they come up afterwards, feel free to reach out to us at fscgrad@asu.edu. We'd be happy to help with additional questions. But I'm going to actually stop sharing so I can grab the link to our Infosys webpage and share it with you guys in the chat box. So that you guys can explore that on your own later. Alrighty, let's see. Do we have any questions? Will we be able to send the presentation? We are actually recording the presentation, so we will be able to share it with everyone that participated, and you get to rewatch it as many times as you wish. Can undergrad students also take Infosys program if the student is willing to pay the extra fees? At this time, the Infosys Wingspan platform is only offered to our graduate students. If that changes in the next year or so, we'll be sure to let students know, but right now it is just a partnership with us at the graduate level for our graduate students. The courses that I already took last year will be counted for my master's. I'm not quite sure which courses you took last year, but as far as at the graduate level, most graduate programs at ASU will allow up to 12 transfer credits into their programs if they do. I think the only programs that I know of that typically don't allow that is at the W. Carey School of Business, having worked there previously. But at the engineering school, we allow up to 12 transfer credits from a similar master's program if you are admitted into one of our master's programs.
And that's similar for the college. It'll depend. You'll work with your department to say what classes you took, and then they'll evaluate them. But generally, if they are on the same topic area, they could transfer over.
But that is a max of 12 credits. All right, I think there was one question in the chat box. Do you have any scholarships or co-op programs? So at the Fulton schools, we have a list of different internal scholarships that we offer students. We do have a scholarship or fellowship portal that opens up each year in the spring. So that'll open up February 1st and will stay open for 3 or 4 months. So students would have to have applied and been admitted at the time to submit a fellowship or scholarship application. And then those awards are done throughout the summer. And those awards are also for an academic year. So they are for fall and spring all at once. So it's in your best interest if you're thinking of scholarships to apply for the fall term. The spring applications are kind of off that timeline. But that is what we offer as far as scholarships at the Fulton schools. There are lists of external scholarships that we also put on there that students can browse through, but it's not as many as students would find at the undergrad level. At the graduate level, there are not quite as many scholarships. Alrighty, if a student has a non-science engineering relevant degree, cannot apply for grad program, or do you offer prerequisites? So for the engineering school, it all depends. If you come from some kind of science background, typically the answer is yes. So if you come from math or physics, there are a lot of our engineering programs that you can look into. The only program that we have that has prerequisite courses is computer science. So computer science is the only one that has a list of courses a student must have completed to be eligible. And those prerequisite courses are typically done by computer science undergrad students. And so if you're not coming from a computer science background and you're looking at computer science, it probably would not be the best fit. But we have had students from math and physics that have entered into a grad engineering program and have done really well. Outside of that, from other degrees, it doesn't happen quite often. Chemistry, yes. Math, physics, one of those stronger science ones. But if it's from like business or something non-science engineering related, it typically does not happen for us.
To answer that question for the college, similar to what Anka said, I mean, typically if you're going into if you have a non-science background, you're going to a science background, you may be deficient in some areas. That being said, it does vary a lot by the programs, what they're willing to consider. I mean, it's one thing if you have a degree that's not in science, but you've been working in a science-related field or something to that effect. That's also why there's multiple things when you apply to a graduate program. It's just not your transcript. So your transcripts will say what classes or what degree you have, but you're also writing a personal statement most times or supplying some letters of recommendation. So in those areas, if you don't have a science background or applying for a science degree, you're going to have to kind of explain, what your qualifications are, what you've done. And that's a conversation you would have with our individual departments that offer the programs to see if you would qualify or if there's certain deficiencies that maybe you can take, to be qualified, if it's taking a couple classes here or there. But that's something you would work with individually with the program that you're interested in applying for. There was a question about if the student contacts ASU professors about the admission or academic questions, sometimes it's hard to get a reply from them. In this case, where can we contact the admissions team or any other relevant department? So if you're looking at a specific degree, there's going to also be a staff counterpart that'll help connect with you. So for our college, and I'm sure for Anka's in engineering, it's the same way. There may be a faculty lead, but there's also a staff advising team. So the staff advising team is very qualified. They should be able to answer a lot of questions. And if there's questions they can't, then they'll help refer you to a faculty member if it needs to be answered that way. I think that admissions will be able to help generally if there's like a questions how to apply to a program or how to do the application, they can help with that. But if you're getting into specific program level details, you'll need to work with academic units and the advising staffs. On that degree search, if you pick a program, let's just say you do mathematics, PhD, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the degree, there's going to be an email address for contact, and that's going to go to that staff advisor as well.
For the GRE question, I just want to share my screen real quick to show you guys where you can find out GRE waiver information. So on our webpage, graduate.engineering.asu.edu, on the home page, you will see a main list of all of our programs, how they're offered, what campus, and other information. So if you click on one of them, let's say you click on industrial engineering, it'll pull up a mini page of a description for the program. That mini page will also feature any GRE waiver information if it's there. So for this particular program, it says that GRE scores will not be required for all MS applicants for spring and fall. So international students applying to this program would not have to submit a GRE score at the MS level. At the PhD level, they would still have to submit a GRE score. So if you're interested in a particular program, I definitely encourage you to go to our webpage and click on that program and see if they offer GRE waiver to international students. It will show it there. And so we do have a pretty strong list of programs that have decided to waive the GRE for international students and domestic students. And so you'll see that when you go to that page and look at a particular program and do a little bit of investigating. So I'm going to add our website to the chat box so that you guys can explore our page and see if there's a degree you're interested in and if they are waiving the GRE for you.
Thank you, Anka, and thank you, Kyle. I think we are done with most of the questions. And just wanted to add one more thing, what Anka said about the GRE waivers. We Anka has already shared the list of the program which has a GRE for international waiver for the international student. We've been sharing that. So you can reach out to any Kaplan market manager across the globe to fetch the list of the courses with the School of Engineering which has a waiver. So we can share that with you. And thank you both for your valuable time. This was really an interactive session. Thanks a lot, Anka, and thanks, Kyle. Please feel free to reach out to us for any further questions. Thanks all. We'll be winding up this session here. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Chester.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for attending.